I was sitting here thinking about, and it's so weird because sometimes things that just come to me. I was thinking about narcissism, and I was thinking about how anybody can be a narcissist, your parents, your neighbor, your co-workers, your boss, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, you know, anybody can be a narcissist. It's different for everyone. You know, it's like take it how it resonates in your life. But I was just thinking how narcissists love to play the victim. They're always the victim. It made me think about an incident where it's like the person was disrespecting another person. And then you had another person that was witnessing this, right? Now, with a narcissist, they feel like they can disrespect you and make you feel some type of way, right? Try to make you feel small, try to make you feel insecure. But really, and it's just in general, when people try to make you feel like that, that's just because they're insecure. Or they feel small. Or they feel some type of way. Whatever they project into you is what they feel about themselves. I had to learn that. And that's why I look at people differently now. Because it's like, when you trying to project something on me and make me feel some type of way, then that just let me know that that's how you feel about yourself. So when people are being hateful, that's because they hate themselves. But back to what I was saying that, narcissists, they always like to play the victim. And I said it to say, it's just like if you got a person that's witnessing this, that's neutral, then they'll try to make it seem like it wasn't their fault, that it's the other person's fault. The other person got me mad. The other person had me frustrated. It's always the other person that's making them act out, which is how you know you're dealing with a narcissist, because they take no accountability for their own actions. It's always somebody else's fault. It's somebody else's fault because they don't have control over their own emotions. You see what I'm saying? That's how you know you're dealing with a narcissist. And I know this to be true because I've dealt with them all my life. It's like I was dealing with narcissists before I even knew what a narcissist was. You know what I'm saying? And I've had incidents where somebody would tell me, it's your fault. You made me. It's like you made me abuse you, or you made me call you out your name. Heck, if you wouldn't have said this, then I wouldn't have did that. Like I said, they never want to take accountability. That maybe you just miserable, or maybe you just hate yourself, or maybe you just don't like yourself. These type of things don't occur to narcissists. Like maybe it's me. They never look within themselves. It's always outward. They never say to themselves, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Or maybe I shouldn't have acted that way. But you only do that when you're able to look at yourself and realize that you're not always right. Sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're not sometimes you're not who you think you are. Because see, narcissists, they are it's very important to them to look a certain way to people outside, that's outside of the home or just out, in the public. They do not want the public to know who they really are. And that's why they pretend. And if you're doing that, then you're not being who you truly are anyway, because those who are around you know the truth. You know what I'm saying? I know this to be a fact. Like I said, I've dealt with narcissists. And even in some of my experiences, it's like I would know that they was faking. You know what I'm saying? But then I would fake along with them because I would enable them because whatever they was trying to project to other people outside of the home, I pretended like whatever it is that they was trying to project was the real them. But really inside, I knew that wasn't the real them. They was fake. They weren't. They were pretending because they wanted everybody to think that they were a good person, that they was worthy of praise because they love to be praised when they don't even deserve it. And that's why I don't praise people that pretend, that aren't real. Because you got to ask yourself, if people are pretending for other people, that means they don't know who they are. So that means that you're not even being real with me, because you ain't even being real with yourself. You see what I'm saying? That's what I be talking about when I say people need to start looking at themselves, going within. If people were really being who they truly are, a lot of people that you know, if they were really being who they truly are, you probably wouldn't even like them. I'm just saying, you probably wouldn't if they was being the real them, not the one that they pretend to be, the real them. But that's why we have to do the work and make sure we being who we really are, and not pretending. Like, if being who you really are, if you feel like being who you really are, that people will not accept you because you're being who you really are, then you don't need to be around those people anyway. But you don't ever have to pretend to be who you're not. Because I feel like with narcissism, it's like people pretending to be who they think the world wants them to be, but not who they really are. And you got to think about that. That's a miserable life, to go your whole life pretending to be what the world wants you to be versus being who you really are. I could see someone being sad about that, and especially when they're around or see other people being authentic. That's very rare in this world, to be authentic and be the real you. Because we've gotten so comfortable with being who the world feel or tell who the world tells us who we should be versus who we are. And I'm saying, step out the box and just be your authentic self. Like, if you corny, which I am, if you're weird, I'm that too. Whatever you are, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you are, be that. Because at the end of the day, at least you're being real. Whether it be corny, weird, or whatever. At least you're being real. Even though other people may not understand it. But if they don't understand it, that's just because they're not being real. But I want y'all to have a beautiful freaking day, because today is a beautiful freaking day, as you can see. Yay. Bye, y'all.